I think it's a lot of opportunity for it, and I can't wait. It's finally here. We with the third day of it, and December. So we actually got the month of December, and then of course January to kind of like planning for it, how we're gonna rock in this market, and so the first reason why I'm so looking for 2023, because like I saw so many advantage for realtor in 2023. Hold on, I try to see like how can next slide. Talking about advantage, if you're working with a seller for last 2 or 3 years, you will see it's very hard to get the listing because the market is so good. So when the client like seller, they're looking for a listing agent, and then they just got someone they can put on online for seller owner, and they just easy to get onto an offer. And so they don't see any value of the skill and then the market knowledge of realtor anymore. And then they see why I have to pay like 5-6% higher realtor selling my house. Um, but now in this market, when realtor like the skill and the market knowledge is really need to value and add value to the seller. That's why you see a lot in the transition of the last quarter in 2022. You see a lot of express listing and like for sale by owner in the data. So if you start like touch on that data and then calling them back, try to add value for them why that listing is not selling. Maybe it's either picture. This can be the pricing. I think pricing is a big one for like when you transition from the seller to the buyer market. Analyze them and then educate them. You definitely get the listing. So if you got a good skill and the market knowledge to educate the seller, because that group of seller, they already got the motivation to sell the house. You don't have to put a lot of efforts to tell them to create like more motivation for them. And the second reason you can get more listing, we run the middle baby boomer generation, they getting to retire. What happened when like the baby boomer they getting to retire is you so they need to downsizing the house. So if you're looking for that like niche market and you think like all the big house, the neighbor build relationship with them, put all the marketing campaigns on the baby boomer generation in the neighborhood, you definitely can get the listing from it. I'm so in love with this because like your listing can be the nice one. It's for like big house because and you definitely can have them to the downsizing demand as well when selling the house and have them buying the house. So in this market, if you're the realtor and for last 2-3 years, it is so hard for you to get the listing because of the skill and market knowledge is not valued anymore. So that's the time to 23 is the time for you to prove it. Your skill is made for the seller to sell the house because it's required a lot of skill, a lot of marketing, and then support in order to sell the house in this market for the seller. There's also there's so many of the advantage for you to working with buyer too. So my business in last 2 years is pretty heavy in the buyer because you're hard to get a listing. And you know how painful it is to serve the buyer in last 2 year market. You have to go showing a lot, um, writing tons of offer, and then get a lower commission rate. But in this market, like you see, like all the urgency has been removed, and you don't have to sell the house like when it's coming soon, or when just like 5 minutes in the market anymore. So all the agency is removed. No more overbid, no more the over appraisal value. Because like in last 2 or 3 year market, we feel so bad for the buyer. Somehow we get like, is this really not worth it? How condition is bad, but they still buy it. Sometimes they go, okay, just put the offer. If I got accept, and then I go see the house. Yeah, it well, you spend a lot of time. It's quite hard to leverage the buyer in last 2 year market. But in this market in 2023, you can leverage it because the time you spend with buyer is gonna be less and buyer got more option. Um, and well, luckily, fortunately, we in Texas, and Texas still very good market for the buyer. Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, all the big companies, small company, they moving here. We still it's very good market for the buyer. So my idea, I think it's good to get business balance both. It's seller and buyer, and we both see the advantage for the buyer and seller. But for the buyer in 2023, it's gonna let time. It's gonna big a check, and you see like you add more value to buyer in 2003 market. Um, so call back your buyer last year or last 2 3 years. I know for last 2 3 years we kind of like overwhelmed sometimes by calling us and then okay I'm done. Like, I don't want to convert this because we take like it's so long, takes so much time to convert the buyer. But now you can call them back. Maybe they still on the market, they still looking for the house. So it's time for you like to convert them right now. Because buyer and the consumer in the market, they not update the market as fast as we are. And in 2022, for the last 2 quarters, we can see the trend cut like overnight. It is switched from seller market to the buyer market. So if we in the market we saw the update and the numbers still make sense for the buyer, you can call them back and start converting them. It's gonna be less time. The second reason why I'm so waiting for it, so look forward to in 2023, is you see the higher conversion rate in the market for sure. Remember back then in the seller market, we see a lot of listing come on and they lead at 2% or 2.5%, and even like a couple of builders they pay 1% for you to sell the house for them. Also, you see a lot of iBuyer or fast feed broker, let's say Redfin, Zillow, Open House, and all flat fee brokers, they are available in the market and they dominate the market. But what happening in the last 2 quarters 2022, they kept like going out market and Zillow getting done, and then I want to go out. Open Door is the same. You saw Open Door listing drop. Significant price in the markets right now. They try to get out business and not make it lost a lot of money. And also in Texas, we saw flat a lot of new build community. You saw like the builder bring back on the bonus. It's very easy to see the builder pay 4 or 5% right now. They also they bring a lot of incentive for the buyer that can benefit them from building to buy down the rate. And we recently, for the listing that we list with the seller, we try to educate the seller. We'll be able to paying bonus for the buyer agent if the house can be closed like within 30 days. So we try to get the house so quick and use that seeing more bonus on your local listing. Because a listing agent they're able to maybe they can raise the price a little bit and then to get a little bit more for the buyer side, at least to get the listing sold. Yes, so higher commission rate is pretty good. So instead of like last year or last 2 years, you set your goal of your volume that much is down. So if this year you count like set your goal how much you're going to earn on GCI, I think it's easier to reach because the commission rate is going up. I got the chart to show you like how the commission rate has been trending in the markets from 91 to for 2020, and then you can see if like when the market in the like as good as the market is, the commission rate is going down, and then when so you in 2024 2025 the market's got a peak, and then we at the commission rate at that, and then in 2028, and when this market start collapse and see the commission rate is going up, it's happened pretty similar to the market in 2020 and 21 when the commission rate is going down, and we start seeing like coming back right now. So setting the goal for 2023, that how much you want to earn on GCI, and you can see it's easier to reach compared with now. The third reason that I love it so much, into is a less competitor. So last year you see all the story, and my wife, my cousin, so and the kind of my relative just got the real estate license, and then they come in the market. And I'm not gonna list it out with you. I'm list it out with my cousin John, maybe. So in that market in 2028, I'm not going that market in 2028. But I know when you look at the data, it's like 35% the realtor going up business. So for now, you look at the net number, we got like 1.6 million realtor in USA. But they're gonna go in our market when the market like get harder, especially for realtor. They just got their license in 2020, 2021. So for the realtor has been trained in normal line market or in the hard market. When it's come to increasing market, they can feel it easier to convert the client. But for the realtor, when they get our business and the market is already very good, and they feel struggle now. They feel struggle and too hard to be hostile in that market. Because like buyer not going to be the same anymore. They're not going to buy regardless, like whatever price they have to go, and you need to train yourself to you have to train yourself because the seller and the branded market they want they train your mind, and then you never know until it's going to the closing table. For now, the number on the NAC data I look at is 1.6 billion, and I believe in 2022 that's a big amount. I would say 20-25% of the realtor they leave the market, and then do feel less competitor. That is here. Here's the thing that's really interesting because the number of the units sale. Yeah, so the number of the home sale in US is not fluctuate a lot along with the competitor that you have to fight with. So let's see in 2008, you see like the numbers going down like 4 million houses are being sold. In 2021, we got like 6 million house in units have been sold, and the number is predict. I don't know how it's going on 2022 or 23, but the number is predict is still around 6 million units sold in house. But when you got less of like 20-25 per of the competitor in the market. So let's say you got the same amount but less competitors. So definitely gonna get more business if you keep patient, keep growing. I feel like when I go in training with John's Eye and hear it, like as long as you keep growing, you create the motivation. There's no something called motivation, but if you keep growing, then you create the motion and then you keep growing. Sorry, how back to the yes. Let's compare. That's the three main reasons that I can't wait to jump in 2023 market, as we need to kind of like load up our skill and the knowledge, update the market. Never seen the market change as fast as quick as right now. We kind of like have to update the markets every week to see the chance of it, to kind of update our marketing and apply it to the client. For back then, like for the listing and when we stop in wire in July 2 or 3 years, we have to call out the pending listing and ask them what the signal for what the price they accept it to able to acquire our buyer. But in this market, when we do the listing, when the sold data is it no longer good, then you have to focus on the active listing and also the pending listing. So the pending listing kind of give you the idea what's the buyer is make decision right now. We can call the pending listing agent and then ask them whether it's hard for them to accept this, whether they have to lower the price. They're definitely not going to disclose the exactly number for you, but they can like give you the idea. So when you get a listing, you can compare and show your seller all the active listings so they know like who they have to compete with. And you definitely can take them to see all the active listings, let's see how good it is or like, how bad it is. So your seller get the idea and prepare for it in order to educate them to sell the house. um, same thing with the buyer. Buyer came in the market. They can tell them, hey, I want to lower the price for 20%. That's how like for 650, I want to offer 550, and just tell them like. Just show them the data. That's why it's not going to happen. And this is the pending listing. They just reduce 5%. What I'm talking with the listing agent. So if we're putting the 20% down in the price, they're not going to accept it. So you instead of based on the sold data on the CMA, for now you need to like based on the active and then the pending price in order to educate a seller and buyer in this market. I think that's very good tip. Um, Keep patient. Don't give up. Whenever in the chance seasoning, because in the chance seasoning, people seem freezing because they want to see what happened with the market. And when they're freezing, they don't want to buy, they don't want to sell. So if you're able to get through that, honestly, I think we already through it because Fed raised the rate very, very high jump in the last two quarters 2022. And for now, as long as the conversation with a lot of lenders, they believe into 2023, it's not a lot of big jump. They're gonna jump a little bit and then going down. So we can like go through the transition time of the market. And for now, people get more comfortable to buy and to sell. We getting back to the normalized market. And I love the market because when the seller and buyer they equally can like negotiate it, and you don't feel like you lost a lot of value to your seller or to your buyer in that market. And we need to go back. I'm in business for more than 5 years. And we're in 2027, 17, and then 18, we see the normal line market. We're able to negotiate with the buyer and with the seller. And that's exactly what I see now in what our listing we have in Dallas. Um, yes, so in summary, we got three reasons that market offer a lot of advantage for you. Either you're working with seller or buyer. And the second is you see the higher commission rate on the buyer side. Also the seller, they see more value in the realtor, so they pay you more in order to sell their house. And the third reason that you see less competitor. That's all for my presentation today. Come to advice, and I would like to ask Amanda because Amanda and Jeff have been in the industry for so long, and they're running the team number one in EXP in the Saudi unit and then volume sale. So what's the advice you can have for realtor in 2023, Amanda?
I absolutely loved your advice. I loved how positive you were throughout this whole platform. I love that you were talking about how we're going to have about 25% of our agents that are going to go outside of this market, which for me, I'm like, come back, stay. But for most business people, it's an idea of we're going to have less competition. There's going to be the same amount of sales. I know for me, I work with a lot of hedge funds that were cash buyers. And every time we make a cash offer, there were 3 or 4 other cash offers. And that was fun until it wasn't fun. It just wasn't sustainable. And so now to be a buyer, it's so much easier to have less competition and come in and be able to actually, like you said, have a fair, equal market. For the people who have been in real estate longer than 4 years, this is a normal market. Like this is what we've been used to. You know, for people who were here a year or 2 ago, you came into something that wasn't a typical market. And so bear with us, stay strong. We all work together. I really think having a strong business plan, and to be honest, you'll just have to work harder this year than you had to, 2 years ago, but it's going to be worth it. And there's a lot of opportunity out there, especially in Texas. We're really lucky to be in the market that we're in. So, and we're all here to help you and work together, but I'm really looking forward to 2023. I think it's full of opportunities.
Yeah, same here. I'm so looking forward to 2003, and finally it's here. We're done with vacation mode and we start rolling now. Any question? Yes, Ingrid.
Oh, not really a question, but I just want to add a comment on what you and Amanda discussed. Real estate is a very local, it's a very local business. So although you watch the news, everything is slow, but if you really look into Houston and Dallas, a lot of pocket in our neighborhood, is still booming as fast as we can, right? One of my listing, we just close it, multiple offer. It doesn't matter what the interest rate does. We close it. 2 week closing with $15,000 over market, right? Because that neighborhood is so hot, everybody try to get into that school. Same thing, I'm gonna give you guys some nugget here. Independent Heights, Acreage Home, Highland Heights. There's so many little area in Houston that is have so much money coming in. So kind of pay attention locally and then focus on those areas. That's where you can make the most money.
Yeah, thank you, Angry. Yeah, we saw a couple in that last market too. Honestly, for the last quarter of 2022, we saw so many like advantage for the buyer when they buy the new build from in Dallas. Because builder they have to run to cold the water, and they give back so much incentive for the buyer. And compared with the deal when the individual seller, they not adopt the market that much as a corporate builder. That's why we able to get a lot of money for the buyer to buy out the rate, also in the price that they can, and we can owning the bigger check from the builder for that too. And yeah, talking about the every year good, and we recently got to listing up, and we got the contract within 2 days with the listing price that they not lower their price. And I believe that Texas still very strong market for both buyer and seller if you keep patient and running business, getting lead gen, and then working on it. Just don't give up.
Yeah. And don't quote me on it, right? And just to another point that you say, I kind of jot my mind now about the competition, right? I literally like have no competition when I go, buy auction house, right? So don't quote me on this. We not close yet, but I think we're gonna close. But this house that we pick up from auction, my God, Jenny broke the lock and we come in, it need no repair. I kid you not. We're gonna wipe it, we're gonna put it in the fridge, and then we're gonna take nice picture. We put on the market. We get it on auction. For freaking $280,000. ARV is 400,000, no repair. Okay, so I don't care if the market crashed like 40%, I still make money, right? But I got no competition. Nobody like literally go there and compete with me in that auction house. I mean, come on, like I like.
Yeah, even market's so weird. Like people freezing and they just wait. Like a lot of my cash investor, they no, I only wait like to the end of 2003, and they start cutting out the equity and then have gathered the cash right now and waiting until the summer or the winter 2023 to buy. So the markets right now is very less competitor. You can come up and can make sign the number with your buyer and seller. You definitely can get the house sold.
Yeah, so I would say focus on new construction. Like you say, they giving like 5%, commission right now, or just work with your investor to find killer deal for them. Right, there's like no competition in the market. It's so easy to find deal right now.
And sorry, this is Elva speaking. Just wanna add one more point to Hui. Sorry, my voice sounds like crap right now. It's even if you buy auction house, you have commission too. They pay commission.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and that's the only point I want to add.
I mean, it's not much. It's 1.5%, but hey, I get 1.5% for doing nothing. I take it.
Wait, someone just messaged me and asked, how do you find an auction house?
There's many sources. So wholesaler is absolutely one sources, and then there's this big website. It's called auction.com. And sometimes, like actually today, right, it's the auction day in Harris County. You actually have to go there and bid, right? So some of them is online bidding, some of them is live. You have to go to the courthouse, to the location in your county, and then you have to, have the cash ready, and then you just bid, right? Make sure you see the house, you do some homework first before you bid. So anyway, let me back myself up a little bit, right? This is not for newbie, right? You need to do a lot of homework. Make sure that you know how to repair the house and make sure the title is clear. So if you want more information on that, our group, Amanda, Tuan, we specialize in, a lot of us, we specialize in investment homes. So reach out to us. We will see what we can do to mentor you and help you if you want to get started on this path. It's not for newbie. If you brand new out of school, go do some leases. Goddamn, don't get into auction house.
That's great advice. And for those of you who are like worried about fluctuations, I love Hui's slogan is he's the cash flow agent. And that's so true. If you can find a deal that cash flows, it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down or sideways, you're not selling that house. So as long as you're cash flowing and having money coming in and you can educate your investors that now is a great time to buy, that's a great mindset to have. We might have to have you teach a class on how to source deals with wholesalers and in auctions.
Okay. I think Victoria got the question, right?
Victoria.
Hi there. Yes, I do have a couple of questions since you are one of those top agents in Texas. So if you can kind of briefly share what makes you different than other agents, like what do you do differently? And also, you mentioned about be knowledgeable and know about your market. What resources do you use to educate yourself for markets?
Yeah, thank you, Victoria. Yeah, so when it comes to you get this question a lot when the client and consumer come to you and ask like, why I need to work in with you, but not the other realtor. And eventually you always try to add value to the client. So just don't forward it to you and forward it to your client. And I definitely saw my experience and so my knowledge in that market. So when they start talking about that area, let's say Frisco or Allen, and I start able to call out the corner of the neighborhood name and on the demographic on that area to make them and also back me up by on the day that the house that I've been sold in that zip code, like for them just to the that I got the update data for that market that they can believe me and they trust me to get the home for me to list their house. About to get the market update, I think like to resort like we do every day. So you can read the article for sure, but you need to really roll in the market and look at the data. So you can look at the data, like how many house has been on the market, like how many percent that they trade in the price, that they whether they sell it, whether they turn into pending or not. So you can analyze the market yourself. When you analyze, you see, okay, in let's say we're in North Texas, and North Texas, in the part of the Collin County, the price not trend very much. I saw like drop around 5 to 6% in the North. And a lot of listing is still getting like the listing price, so with the listing price. But you going like to the east area of Dallas, you see the drop more in percentage, also around 8 to 10%. But you have to analyze the market by looking at the data, the listing and the market. And the second sort that I do a lot is definitely come from my everyday business activities when I have to serve the client in the area, and then we have to do the market research on it. Then we can like update it by getting more clients. So here's the thing. If you have no motivation and there's no client to serve on, and then you wake up and then you're not doing nothing, and then you don't want to learn about the market. You say, why I have to learn about the market? Why I have to learn about this? We have no client like to serve. So you need to do lead gen, get more clients. So when client got the question, you have to get the motivation and go out there looking for the information for you. Victoria, I know that you knew and you got the less motivation to have like learn about the market, look the knowledge and then look the skill. Skill gonna grow up through the activity, the deal when you do. The more you're talking with client, the more you try to educate them, you get more skill into converting them. And knowledge is the same. Knowledge is just like you loading the piece every day, and then you kept like building up the data and knowledge in the local market for yourself. And so let's say you look at your local market and you start analyze one neighborhood that you see. So let's say we're in the baby boomer right now. If your neighborhood got a lot of baby boomer and they're going to retire, you need to downsizing it. So you just analyze that farm, like only that neighborhood, can be identified whether they can find the listing from it. But you need to sell them. You understand about that neighborhood, you understand about that piece of local market in order to convince them to list the house with you. Is that answer your question, Victoria?
Yeah, thank you so much.
What?
I think Min May has a question.
Yeah, not a question, but just really helpful information so far. Too, I just kind of want to quickly add on because I was brand new agent about 3 years ago, right? So one thing that Tuan just mentioned as when potential client interview you and say, why do you have to, work with you instead of somebody else? Then what I did and what I think that would be helpful for any new agents as well as like you, Victoria. Even though I'm new, I'm work with a very, very well experienced mentor who is, let's say, if you working with Tuan, right? She is the number one and not number 10 in Texas as a solo agent who sold over 27 mil. In 2022, or if you working with somebody that is I always say we before too, like I work with my mentor, he sold over 12-13 million a year. I'm sure that we will together gonna take care of you. And then another way to learn about your market is just tune in our weekly trainings. We have a lot of speakers, and each weekly training like this, we share a lot of our knowledge and what is going on in the market. And we have different events as well. If you can go to our local events when agents meet up, all we talk is what's going on in the market, right? And then what builders are really supportive right now. And also we love podcasts. So if you can tune in some of the podcasts that were about real estate, that's where you can also learn about what is going on right now and listen from the experienced agents to share what should they do, what would they do in a certain area. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents I want to add on quickly for all of the new agents right there. I used to be new, and you will be all right. Just tag along with everybody, shadow the experienced agent in your group, and you will be great.
Thank you, Ming. Thank you so much for adding them on. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Thank you.
Yep. I got one more comment for Tuan, and it's kind of answer Victoria's question. Like the habit is actually very important. So if you look at Tuan, she doesn't do anything big, but she have very, good habit. Let's say, I went to dinner with her, and before I noticed, she grabbed a microphone and she sing a song in front of like 200 people, right? And then after that, she introduced everybody to, everybody as, I'm your realtor, right? In front of 200 people in a restaurant. And it took her like 5 minutes. I mean, that's just habit. And Tuan, your song is amazing too. And I mean, after that dinner, you probably have a couple, lead that reaching out to you already. So just small habit like that, combined with your talent, what you're good at, kind of combine that, and then you're gonna make it a habit. So that's one thing I can say about Tuan. You have a lot of habit that you don't even notice, Tuan, but every time that I see you, you just get into a habit of letting everybody know that you're interested. It doesn't matter where you're at. The conversation always ends with that. So that's just crazy.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. I just saw in the chat like what advice I can have for the new realtor. It definitely like expose yourself. I got like a couple of new agents in my group, and then they don't know how to expose it, and then they just decide. And just like we say, like you need to learn how to generate lead, and you need to tell to the whole world that I'm the realtor. So at least like they know that you in the business, and then kind of remind them every day that I'm interested by all the social posts. So they not forget it. They always be touched. Like if I have any question about real estate, I'm gonna contact you. So the advice from new realtor, definitely expose yourself as much as possible and manage your time. Yeah, manage your time. It's not like the market back then anymore. Like the people kept like coming for you, so you have to go. You cannot like show up anytime you want. You need to make the schedule, and so if you say like you're gonna post 5 posts every week, then you have to do it. Just write out the time, what time you're gonna post it, what I'm gonna post it, every Sunday, and then you just follow that and then you never get lost. Yeah, that's my advice. Any other question?
Good stuff.
Oh, I just realized like the more I doing it, I'm no longer nervous. This is my first training for with Tim Legacy. So
You did great.
Good stuff. Well, thank you too, Ann.
Thank you too.
Yeah,
And you did
thank you
so
so
amazing
much.
for your first class. I wouldn't believe it's your first class. You're such a natural.
So if you are not doing good into the 23, don't blame me. It's definitely not me because I'm kicking out.
So we're going to be doing these every single Tuesday. It's going to be a lot of content, and we're going to have different leaders kind of take turns teaching classes. If you would do me a huge favor, since this is our first one and we're kind of building those out, put in the chat box a couple topics that you think you would just love to see a total pro that specializes in that do. So if you want to learn about, you know, being an investor or home sales or business build outs, Trello, love it.
You do that, Amanda.
That's my new business love language. Hui introduced me to it, and it's awesome for mind mapping. I'm hooked. But put in the chat box something that you would love to see as one of these Tuesday production classes, so we can make sure to bring the right value to you.
Oh, I love the travel class. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, I need to learn about that too. I'm a very low skill on it.
You guys should do it next week.
I think next week, Jen, with Tao, she's gonna do a training on specialized new construction. So you know, if you haven't subscribed on Eventbrite, Team Legacy Eventbrite, so whenever new training come up, you know, you will be the first to know. But the next one is gonna be new construction, and the fly out is gonna go out.
That's what
That's
we
great.
need.
This is the year for new construction. Like, all those builders love us all over again, and they're finally paying us what we're worth. So sourcing deals for investors.
Yeah, Elva and I, we can handle the flipping, you know, listing, negotiating. Yep, all good topic. Let's have it all down.
Listings. This is great. How to get listings. What's funny is we're doing contract to close for listings and buyers on Trello. So if you guys haven't checked out Trello, when Hui first told me about it, I was like, I hate new stuff. I don't want to learn a new platform. I've got too many logins. Like, good luck with that. And then I logged in and I experienced it, and it's been awesome. Class about auction and wholesales.
Oh, I have a good speaker for that. I won't talk, but I'm gonna bring in a good speaker for that.
Okay, that could go under the sourcing deals for investors too. Okay. Negotiating. Perfect. Sydney, if you could, can you put the link for our Eventbrite so everybody can have that? They can kind of track all of our classes.
Yes, just getting it now.
I want to ask, is this the Texas group? So we have agents all over the place, but a lot of us are in Texas. So when we market, we kind of market Texas, but we have people in all over the world. It's really cool. And they all bring different knowledge and skill sets. So we're always learning.
That's one of the benefits of, you know, hanging your license with a global brokerage, right? So you have local support, you have us, but you're gonna have a global reach.
I think we have a ton of ideas. So if you track that Eventbrite, we also have a website, teamlegacyorganization.com. Oh, cool. Yes. Amy's in Canada. We're going to kind of do this every single Tuesday. We also have script practice on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We have lots of different trainings in addition to what EXP offers. So our goal is just to bring you as much value as possible so we can all kill it in 2023. Thank you so much, Tuan, for this, and we'll see you all next week.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Yep. I have a recording, Amanda. Gonna send to everybody after this.
Perfect.
All right.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
Rocky.
Thank you.